And today's morning marketing tip, I'm going to share with you the one recruiting secret my 2.5-year-old taught me that has been absolutely stupendous in me learning new material and learning how to effectively add new strategies into my marketing campaigns. I'm going to share all of that with you here in just a couple of seconds. Let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Greg Gomes III, founder, CEO of the Business Blueprint Strategies for Improving Your Recruiting. And today we have another morning marketing tip to help you add dozens of people every week in your organization so you get to walk across the stage, collect those ridiculously oversized jumbo checks, and overall enjoy a lifestyle unbeknownst to anybody else in the world. So today's morning marketing tip comes from my 2.5-year-old. Just dropped him off here at school, or daycare, or actually not really daycare, it's a Montessori preschool for toddlers, so it's pretty awesome. He's brilliant. And one of the things that me and his teacher came over to our house last night. We all had Navajo tacos. My wife cooked for all of us. And she was telling us about how the kids really just watch these shows over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and they don't get sick of them. And I'm just going to ask you ever notice how the younger children, if you have children or your nieces and nephews or whoever, they wind up watching these shows, and they watch those shows consistently, nonstop, like over and over and over and over again. And, you know, as adults, we get sick of them. Well, I actually thoroughly enjoy the cartoons and the shows that my kids watch for the most part, except for, what's that show? Oh, Wonder Pets. Oh, whoever made that needs to be slapped. Terrible, terrible cartoon. But the rest of them are pretty awesome. So what winds up happening, such a total kid, I love cartoons. But the thing with this is that they'll watch these things over and over and over again. And a recent study was done about Blue's Clues, and how in Blue's Clues, these kids will watch these shows over and over and over again. And that's a show that's not even really on the air anymore, I don't believe. But the kids would watch it over and over and over again. And here's what was happening, and this is what was interesting. The children would actually learn better the more that they did it. Not only were they actually, the first time they watched it, they got introduced, it was entertaining. They couldn't really engage with the show, though. But the kids had this voracious desire to go back and learn it so that they could know it, so they would watch it again and again and again. So what these, like Nickelodeon and some of these other shows would do is they would replay that show, that same show, over and over and over again consistently throughout the week. So we as adults would think, well, that's cheap. I don't want to see that again. I want to move on to the next thing, or give him something new. I'm sure he's getting bored with it. Actually, the opposite was true. As the children watched the same show over and over and over again, what wound up happening is they got a deeper and better understanding of the content within that show. And here's an old quote that I did that's hilarious, but I think it's funny. And I think it was Emerson that said this is, what do you want a new idea for when you haven't used the last one I gave you? And that's the difference in what a 2-year-old is capable of doing versus an adult in network marketing. You see, as adults and recruiters, we constantly get ADD to any new strategies. Our hunger is almost insatiable. We want newest, the latest, the most consistent information about what we can do marketing-wise, but we never implement what we had before. And the difference is in a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old or anybody 6 or younger, they don't need new. They're content to watch the same thing over and over and over again, to grasp the concepts, get a better, deeper understanding so that they can implement it. And here's the thing. At the end of that process, those children are then practically memorize the entire show. So anytime a question's asked, what do you think? Where is it? Is it to the right? Is it to the left? Where is it? And the kids will shout out, to the left, right? Because they know the answers. And this is what allows them to remember certain things that adults just miss. Little subtle details that slip by us, they're able to hold on to and grasp and really know intimately. This is the key to learning. I've always gone over this 5-step process, but it really is critical that my 2.5-year-old came back and reminded me of the importance of this. If you're learning something new, notice I don't give these tips on a daily basis. I give them once or twice a week. And the reason I do that is because they're designed to be implemented. They're not designed just to be throwaway material where you get it once, listen to it, and okay, great, thanks, Greg, and then you move on to consume the next thing. That's locust-style marketing or locust-style education. You don't come in, devour, and then move on to the next thing. That's ridiculous. You want a crop-based educational style. You should be watching these things over and over and over and over again so you can really grasp the concepts. And here's my 5-step process. Repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. You do until it's ingrained in your muscle memory, your mental muscle memory, so that you practically regurgitate it without much prompting. Case in point, a good example of that is like your favorite country song or your favorite radio song, right? First time you hear it, oh, that's awesome, that's a cool tune. Mastodon just came out with a new album, yay! So, but the key is that the first time you hear it, you may like it, you may not, you may really enjoy it. You hear it again, you start to really enjoy it. Well, when you find a favorite song, like, oh man, I really love this song. What do? We listen to that thing over and over and over again until we're able to memorize the lyrics, the change-ups, the bridges, the choruses, all of the different parts of the song, until we get absolutely bored with it, but only after we've listened to it like a million times. And then when it comes on the radio, it instantly gets us fired up again. We know everything again. I remember songs, words to songs that I haven't heard in decades, really dating myself, but as soon as they come on the radio, I'm like dancing like I was a break dancer again when I was a kid. Well, almost, kind of, sort of. But the key is that is ingrained deep mental muscle memory, and that's where you need to get with these training materials and anything that you're doing. In Kung Fu, I studied martial arts for a number of years, and the trick is that we learned lots and lots and lots of techniques, and then we would actually spar and implement these techniques in combat. We actually would go out there and implement these strategies to be able to fight with each other, to be able to ingrain them into our muscle memories. And one of the things that they said was, and it's always stuck with me, is that if you wanted to master a simple weapon, it took, like the broadsword, a simpler weapon, you could be proficient in it with about 100 hours worth of conditioning with it. But 100 hours of actually taking the thing and using it, right? A spear, which is that long stick with a pointy end and a little fuzz at the end of it, and it doesn't really wobbly bend like the wushu guys, but no offense wushu guys, but no, that doesn't help you. But enough that you could actually be able to spin around. All right. That took 1,000 hours of practice to be able to be extremely confident in it, and that person was much more effective than the broadsword person, right? The straight sword, that real thin straight sword, not the big hacking broadsword, but the straight sword, took 10,000 hours of training to become competent enough to beat pretty much anybody in battle. Notice the difference there. It was that repetition over and over and over and over and over again. It wasn't a matter of learning 8,000 techniques in martial arts. And in fact, people always ask, I was a pretty good sparrer. I was able to drop people left and right. There was only one ever person that I couldn't sweep. I've talked about this before. But it wasn't because I went out there and practiced a little bit at 10,000 different techniques. No, I took 10 techniques and I did them every single time I sparred. Now here's the thing. My opponents, sparring with me week to week to week, knew exactly which 10 techniques I was going to do. But because I had done them so much and I'd gotten so good at them, I could execute them on a whim. The greatest martial artist wasn't about having a million different techniques. It was about having a dozen or so really excellent techniques that they mastered and they did 10,000 times. You understand that? Same rules apply to my 2-year-old. They understand this concept. We are born with this concept. We were born with this understanding to do things over and over and over again. Repetition is the first step. That's a lot of explaining for repetition. I won't go through as much for the rest. Repetition builds familiarity. Okay? We get familiar with it, just like learning a song. Familiarity builds confidence. Right? We get confident. Well, okay, we get some swagger. We can start singing in the car by ourselves. Woo! Right? When no one's around, we can really sing that thing. Right? Don't ask. I'm not going to sing for you today. And then, so repetition builds familiarity. Familiarity builds confidence. Confidence promotes action. Enough confidence may get you to take action. Somebody accidentally hears you singing in the car and they encourage you, says, wow, you really should get on stage with that, right? Well, okay, maybe I will. You get drunk enough or something like that and you wind up singing karaoke, and enough people come up and reinforce the fact that you think you got a good voice. They tell you they think you got a good voice. Now you start doing stuff, you start taking actions, and that nets a result. Whether you sing terribly or you sing great, doesn't matter. It gives you a benchmark, and that's the critical point. Repetition, familiarity, confidence, action. Action's key. Results. And with those results, you measure them, you improve, and then you repeat the process. Does that make sense? So, marketing lesson. I know I beat this into the ground, but this is a really critical point for you. I need you to understand this. Don't be a locust education type of person. Don't be someone who comes in, destroys that content, moves on to the next thing. Not even finish it, just leave it and move on to the next thing. Be an efficient consumer of information over and over and over again. Much like tilling the land and growing crops. You grow it once, you take it, you harvest it, you go back to that land, you prep it again, you do it again and again and again and again. And that same land can yield consistent production and results over your lifetime versus just going out there and moving from space to space like hunter-gatherers. That's old school, don't do that. Okay, so the point here, closing thoughts. What is the last piece of educational material that really helped you? What was the last thing you did or saw that really netted you results? Was it a training piece of mine? Was it somebody else's training material? I don't care whose it is, as long as you're getting results. Was it a book that you read that really inspired you? Was it an event that you attended that really got you results? Was it something you did that netted some type of benchmark that worked? Don't look for something new. Go back to doing that again and improving upon it and making it stronger. Doing it over and over and over again until you get mastery in it, and then move on to the next thing. My friends, you could have been anywhere in the world today. You chose to spend the last 10 minutes with me, and that's critical to your success, because doing this repeatedly on a weekly basis, being consistent, and going back and revisiting these videos 2 or 3 times over the course of your week is what's going to allow you to get those deeper, ingrained understandings of the training material we're providing here, so you can go out there and get results in your business. The key is repetition. Go repeat itself and go sing along with Blue's Clues. And case in point, yes, I do know all of the words practically to every Charlie and Lola episode, and what else is out there that I really enjoy. Blue's Clues, love Blue's Clues, with Steve, not Joe. Anyways, we can get into personal preferences. So, here's your action step for the day. We talk about cartoons all day. Comment below. What is it that you really studied that got you results last time in your business that you haven't done again? Right? What's a reminder? What's something that you did that worked extremely well that you could go do again? Comment below. Let me know what that was. Okay? Or if you haven't gotten those results, what is the roadblock to getting you through that? What was the last great piece of educational content that you studied that you haven't revisited in a while? I would strongly encourage you to go back and listen to it again, or read it again, or do it again. Okay? So comment below with what that was. Subscribe to the right, like and +1 above, and then subscribe to the right. I'll see you on the inside. Take action on this material, my friends. I promise it makes a huge impact in your business. I'll see you on the inside. Take action, and I'll talk to you next time. Go recruit, go close, go get somebody in your business. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.